All right, before we start our refactoring, I want you to install a couple of plugins in VS Code. These plugins make it really easy to move files and folders around without breaking code. So, on the Plugins tab, search for Move TS and also TypeScript Hero. These are great plugins that you should have in your toolbox. With Move TS, we can easily move a TypeScript file or a folder that contains TypeScript code somewhere else in our application. And what this plugin does is that it looks at various files in our application, and wherever we have a reference to the TypeScript code that we moved, it's going to update our import statements. So we don't have to do this manually by hand. Now, TypeScript Hero is another useful plugin. It has some great features. You can read about them under documentation. But the feature that we're specifically interested in is removing unused import statements, as well as organizing our import statements and sorting them alphabetically. Really, really useful plugin. I highly recommend you to install both of these before doing the refactoring. Now, after you install these, the next thing I want you to do is to make a small change in the configuration for our TypeScript compiler. Now, before we make this change, let me explain why we're going to do this. So, let's go to a file like products.component.ts. You can see here in our import statements, we have dot slash dot dot slash in the path. Now, this is not terribly bad, but as we introduce modules and change the hierarchy of our folders, it is possible that in one module, we may want to use a class defined in another module. Then we may end up with an import statement like this. And this is really ugly. We want to avoid this. So we want to modify the configuration for our TypeScript compiler and create an alias for our paths. With this, we can add a path like this, shared/models/product. So here we're assuming that we have a folder called shared that is under source/app. So we're going to define an alias, and then we don't have to add a path like this. Okay, so let's revert this back. Now let's go to tsconfig.json. So as I told you at the beginning of the course, this file includes the configuration for TypeScript compiler. Now inside compiler options property, we want to add a couple new properties. So here after lib, I'm going to add base URL and set that to dot, which references the current folder or the root of the project /source. And then we add another property, paths, and we use this to define an alias for various paths. So I'm going to define an alias like this, shared/star. This is a pattern, and it tells TypeScript compiler that if the path starts with shared, then replace it with, here we add an array, and in this array we add the actual value. So since we set the base URL to the source folder, after here we should go to the app folder and then to the shared folder, and then we want to add whatever we had in the path. So if we had shared/models/product, then we're going to end up with app/shared/models/product. So go ahead, add these two plugins to VS Code and also modify tsconfig.json. And then in the next lecture, we're going to start our refactoring.